Dave, by the way, is such a big fan. Was for a long time was a big fan of. He'd get up so early in the morning to do the show
Yeah.
that by the time he got to doing the show, sometimes it was almost time for lunch. He'd
Ah.
always have himself a little bag of Frito-Lay next to him, and I bring
Oh.
the. By the way, one of the most popular videos of Dave was Dave just eating Frito-Lays and talking on the radio. I bring this up because Mike Roeth, he's back, he's joining us, and we're thrilled to have him as we always are. We're talking about running on less. We're talking about the Run on Less program. We're talking about the messy middle, all of those great things. Good morning to you, sir. Welcome back. I'm beginning to feel like you're a regular segment here. Oh, wait, you are. Good morning.
Yeah, I'm not after you guys' jobs. Don't worry about it.
Oh,
I
it's
got
it.
one.
Oh, and by the way, you'd be terrific at it. So I would feel as if our listeners and friends out there would be in good hands. We're going to continue to talk about this. We got a chance this week to kind of give the 30,000-foot view of what Run on Less is, of what the messy middle is, and we continue that conversation by heading over to our friends at Frito-Lay with a little bit of biodiesel. Correct? What's
Yeah,
going?
yeah, yeah.
Let's kind of dig in
That's
and just kind of talk about them.
yeah. I mean, first of all, how cool was it about a month ago where I'm standing in Topeka, Kansas, watching 120 tractor trailers full of snacks, all those things we love, leave the manufacturing to head out to the stores all across the Midwest. So, yeah, it's just kind of fun. I wanted to stop one, take it home, park it outside my house, and just eat it all. So,
And be like,
lot
I
of
never
fun.
have to go to the convenience store ever again. There are so many
That's
things
right.
I have just saved myself. We're talking. This is a big operation, man. We're talking 22,000 vehicles here. I mean, this is a big project, right?
Yeah, I don't know how many places or manufacturing plants, let's call it, that Frito-Lay has across the United States or Canada, but it's a bunch. But they are big, and so I've been to Modesto, California, and this one in Topeka, Kansas. I think a couple others, and they're just massive. So the trucks that haul those chips, they have some that leave the plant and just go around the local communities and do deliveries. But the long haul tractor trailers, they fill up with all those snacks and go really long distances. So this place in Topeka kind of serves most of the Midwest from Canada to Mexico. And I don't know how far east and west they go, but just a lot of trucks and trailers. So when, in 2021 and in 2023, Pepsi and Frito-Lay showcased their electric trucks and Run on Less, including the Tesla Semi last time. And so here in the Midwest, where they've got such long distances to go, sometimes they run teams, sometimes they do overnights with drivers in the tractors. Here they chose predominantly to go with CNG and biodiesel. And biodiesel is a really interesting one. I mean, many people say, well, why do we even bother with battery electric? Why don't we just use renewable diesel and biodiesel and make it easy on us? Well, there's only so much what they call feedstocks for these two fuels, and biodiesel is a little less cost, a little less processing to make out of, whether it's oils, used cooking oils to soybeans and other things. And what I learned with the team there, and it's in our nice video that we put up this morning, is that when they harvest soybeans, about 50% goes to the livestock feeds and other purposes. And then the other 50% of these like waste oils, let's call them, and a good bit of that traditionally was just thrown away. And so 20, 30 years ago, a lot of smart scientists and so forth came up with ways to turn that into fuel for trucks and into a diesel-like fuel. And so we've been mixing that 5, 10, 20% into regular petroleum diesel for, decades now. But there's that old saying, not so fast, my friend, because, biodiesel can gel in cold weather and other things. And, really can't be a fuel that we traditionally thought could be more than maybe a 20% blend. But here they're doing it. So there's a add-on system that Frito-Lay puts on these highly efficient Volvo tractors. So the tractors are already, with light loaded chips, these tractors are already might be a 10 mile per gallon kind of truck, but they're able to use a carbon-free fuel in biodiesel because they have both biodiesel and then they have a small tank of regular petroleum diesel on the truck. So it's a two-fuel system, but it only uses the conventional diesel to start the truck and to shut it down. So once that fuel gets up to, and the truck gets up to like 90 degrees temperature of the fuel, it shuts off the base diesel and pulls in 100% biodiesel that can run fine when it's up to temperature. So that's the secret sauce to what Frito-Lay is doing, and that accounts then for like 60-70% carbon-free operations. So you don't have the greenhouse gas effect of putting carbon in the air, and you're using, a U.S.-made fuel to move these chips.
This is, and Frito-Lay really, I want to kind of go to a 30,000-foot view of Frito-Lay here really quickly. They really are the messy middle. I mean, we're talking CNG. I mean, we're talking electric. They literally are trying everything. The scope and size of their operation and the fact that they do short runs and long runs, regional stuff. I mean, they literally are uniquely positioned to year in and year out work something new in or focus on something new, and this must in many ways make them a great laboratory for what is next as you guys attempt to run on less, right?
But there's kind of two reasons for that. One is they are very sustainability conscious. So, they take ag products and so forth and turn them into drinks and snacks and so forth and so on. And they are very committed to doing that as green and clean and good for the planet as possible. It's obvious when you talk to them or look on their website. And then the second reason they're looking at all these technologies is that their transportation, their trucking is very, very diverse, incredibly diverse. So, the sodas and waters and energy drinks and all of that are very heavy. So, they got one layer of pallets in each of those trailers, and they get right up to the 80,000 pounds. I mean, I've seen them literally take a few cases of Mountain Dew off of a truck to get down to the weight, but right at the maximum weight. And then on the other hand is these chips and snacks. So they end up being you're exactly right, a model for the messy middle, because all of these technologies we're talking about and evidenced in the run can be applied at part of their business. Maybe not in Pepsi and beverages, maybe not in snacks, but in one or the other.
Okay, so let's talk about the drivers. We always do. Mike Roeth joins us this morning. Of course, go to NACFE.org, go to runonless.com, where you can find the participants in this messy middle. Talk to me about the driver's experience, the ones you got a chance to talk to. I mean, you guys must have given the fact of how many times they participated, you must have a real sense of how the drivers, and they're also set up for this. These men and women know that they're going to be doing this kind of stuff, and so they're always waiting for the latest technology as well. And I talk too long. Go ahead.
Kind of. So, we've done 5 Run on Less events now over the last 7 years, and we've had everything from long haul diesel, regional haul, battery, et cetera, et cetera. So what we tend to find, my going in thought was that it would be the younger drivers that want this technology and are excited about it and so forth. But what we're actually seeing is older drivers. I mean, first of all, they're a bigger percentage of the overall, driver pool, but also many of these fleets will allow the senior drivers to pick their own truck, pick their routes. And it's just a part of being a senior driver at some of these fleets. And so, then it becomes, okay, well, here's usually some seasoned drivers. This Frito-Lay driver's got 2 million miles. He's been driving for 25 years at Frito and 35 years in total. And I think what we've seen across the board with truck drivers is they're excited. The ones that we meet with, they're excited about helping the industry figure out something new. And they just, it's cool, it's interesting. They can brag about it with their kids and their golf buddies or their bar friends. And they all have sort of that. And that's interesting. This truck at Frito-Lay, I mean, it's still a diesel engine. It still has an automated manual transmission where it does have shift points. And so, unlike what we see when we talk to drivers with electric trucks, that have very low noise, very smooth operation. They're not going through all these gears to get out of the dock and out onto the highway. So it's different with the trucks that have the new technology but still have the roar and the situation of all the moving parts with the diesel engine. Fans coming on really loud, et cetera, et cetera. So if we put next to each other, and you could go look at the two videos and watch, like, say, the Tesla Semi video Saya driver that we published a couple weeks ago, and you watched what that driver said versus what this Frito-Lay driver said, it would be pretty much what I just said. It's exciting to operate the new trucks, get on the leading edge of the future, but the experience is vastly different. I mean, these battery electric trucks are, I truly believe, after 40 years in the industry, I'll look back and say that is the biggest technology that brought more truckers into driving a truck, because it's just so simple and almost car-like, although I'm stupid saying that.
Well,
cars aren't trucks. But.
Yeah, I mean, what it is, though, is that you actually are able to focus almost the job. The focus of the job becomes about the job itself, rather than managing the piece of machinery at a level where your arms might end up getting ripped. You might get a gun show out of the fact of what we used to go on in the old days. But now you can kind of focus on making sure that you are actually so focused on the safety of everybody else on the road. That the smoothness of this drive is kind of remarkable. I've been in a couple of myself. Mike, we're out of time. I want to make sure you get in what you want to get in here, though. I'm telling people to go to runonless.com. What are you looking forward to from Frito-Lay in regards to when you guys have the big drive in September?
Yeah. Two things. One, a high mile per gallon. So regardless of whether you got conventional diesel, biodiesel, renewable diesel. These trucks can get outfitted with aerodynamics and rolling resistance, and you can really spec the engines and make choices to get really high MPG. So I'm expecting that. And of course, we'll have people say, well, yeah, high MPG, you're hauling ships, but that helps with the number. But I'm looking forward to seeing exactly what that is, and then understanding, continuing to learn about this biodiesel. It's not the silver bullet, but it's definitely a fuel we can use in this messy middle to improve things. Frito is putting, biodiesel tanks, probably there by now, when they were just concrete on the ground when I was there in July, but they're putting, private fueling on site for this biodiesel. And I'm excited to just continue to follow them and see how they're taking advantage of this fast, like right now.
Mike Roeth, of course, is the executive director over at NACFE. Go to NACFE.org. But you can also, by the way, go to runonless.com. The messy middle is what we've been talking about. We'll keep talking about it. Mike, go have the best of weekends, my friend.
Yeah, good weekend to you guys, too.
Thank you, sir.